Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. I'm good. Hell yeah. Well, today's the day, guys, where I finally get to show you guys my R32 Skyline as a completed project. If you don't know already, my name is Cole Peterson. I am the owner and CEO slash, make hard decisions guy, and also I get to build fun cars like this for the shop media channel and to share with you guys. So getting right into it, this is a 1989 Skyline GTST. It started life obviously with a 2-liter engine and not with a R34 front end on it or any of these modifications. So to give you a quick rundown on the car, engine wise, it's running a R33 RB25. So that's going to be out of a GTST, either the 2 doors or the 4 doors. But it's a 2.5 liter now, and it also has the updated transmission that you'd find in a 300ZX twin turbo car, or just on the back of the normal RB25 turbo engines. So that has changed along with pretty much everything else in the car. The outside of it is wrapped in a beautiful Tiny Bot Midnight Purple 3. It turned out great. Has really good gloss properties, and our friend Brandon over at Prime Model Lab actually did the wrap on it, and he added a lot of really cool touches, such as the two-tone roof and then a lot of the black touches on the bottom of the bumpers and the side skirts. Speaking of bumpers, side skirts, and all that, the body kit is a BR body kit, so that's the R32.4 is what we call it. And it is basically just a conversion to bring the R32 to a more dramatic looking and honestly sexier R34. And debating all you want, I think the GTST is a great car, but it's missing the hips of the GTR and some of the sex appeal of the front end of some of the other generations. So this kind of just brought it all together for me, and making the car look as aggressive as it is driving and sounding. As far as sound-wise, we have a titanium exhaust made in-house downpipe, and for turbo setup, we're running a G30 660 turbo from Pulsar and a Future Fab exhaust manifold, and that's all connected with V-bands. So it's a very serviceable engine bay. We changed pretty much everything recently this year as far as just setup and brackets, where we mount things, fuel system, and all that. So overall, the short block is pretty much all stock. It does have RB26 rods in it, but it's not considered like a built motor or anything by any means. It does have a built cylinder head. It is hand ported and polished intake and exhaust, springs, valves, and HKS. Pretty not that aggressive cams. I think they're the most mild ones. I'm blanking on the exact specs of the cams, but just a little bit more lift and duration on those. What we get power-wise is about 500 horsepower. And it's extremely responsive. The car runs on Ignite racing fuel, specifically Ignite Red. And overall, it's just built to be abused and to just love being at RPM and be a very connected driving feel. So everything done to the car is not essentially, I would say, for breaking records or anything like that. This is just like a personal dream of mine to finally have, almost like a Toge special. So there's a lot of different ways that you can build a car. Specifically, I guess, for drifting, or in this case, just like street driving and like sliding the car. I kind of went the route of just a very traditional midnight special Japanese road car. So the suspension is very like just true to the time, simple coilovers, adjustable Cusco, like rear arms and everything. But as far as like alignment goes and steering and everything, everything is very true to the chassis and how it came. So we just made updates to exactly how the car felt from the factory and just made it better. So we stiffened everything up. We changed the alignment to a little bit more aggressive, almost road racing style alignment. By doing that, we kind of created a car that has both a lot of grip and also a lot of fun feedback that you can get as a driver. But the feedback is very, I wouldn't say dramatic, it's just exact to what the driver should be feeling, in my opinion. Keeping everything simple like the car should be. Interior wise, we updated a few things. We switched out seats. Right now it has status buckets with carbon fiber backs, and they all have custom materials, stitching, all that sort of stuff. So I kind of went with the baby blue, the pink, and the blacks, just because I thought it would be nice to kind of offset the midnight purple color on the outside of the car. And it kind of gives a little bit of a shout out to the drift spares in the back, the pink work wheels. As far as everything else interior wise, the wiring is completely simplified. It has a Haltech 2500 ECU. And everything as far as underneath the dash goes is pretty much deleted. So we actually took the stock dash and customized it quite a bit by deleting the AC and air vents pretty much through everything. And now we kind of just are left with just the defrost. As far as everything else goes, I don't really need AC or heat with this car. It's mostly just for the street driving that is going to be doing, it is going to be windows down mode. So not really worried quite too much about that. For other stuff in the dash, we have a Haltech 2500 display. That pretty much is just the complete data center for everything that's going on in that ECU. And the 2500 has been a really powerful upgrade to this car. I've been able to tune a lot of stuff that specifically help for drifting and everything, and keeping the car alive at limiter, so to speak. In those high RPM zones where, you know, you have a spark cut happening, extremely high cylinder temperatures, and the car's just taking it, and it takes it so well, and it loves the abuse. It's one of those cars where you'll be driving it and it feels good driving it, cruising it, throttle response, all that sort of stuff, and then as soon as you get on it, it's even better. It's like the car almost wants to be driven hard and beat on. It's a really good kind of just like workspace to be in as far as being a driver inside of a car. I wanted to make the car feel very natural to be in and natural to be driven hard. And obviously it takes more than just putting an engine in a car, putting suspension in a car, and tuning it too. So everything kind of has to work together, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so proud of having this car completed now, because it really just turned into one of those things where I feel happy, and like one of the first cars where I've gotten done with it and been like, I don't think I have to change really anything. So obviously there's tons of stuff that we could change. I mean, you could probably dump another $10,000 or whatever into suspension, but is it absolutely necessary? No, not even close. I don't even want to change it. So there's probably a few things that I would change. Maybe. I think this winter we are going to play with some turbo sizes a little bit. I'd like to go just a step larger in turbo to the G35 and see if we can gain a little bit more response out of it. It just seems like the turbo is a little bit small for the setup that it's running right now. I like the way that the car feels, other than I might pull a little bit of negative camber out of the rear end of the car, but the front grip and the turn-in and everything like that is very, very good. Everything else is pretty much fantastic, and I love the way that the car turned out looks-wise. Maybe we'll put some different wheels on it, maybe we'll put a wing on it, but like, it's really difficult for me to sit here and look at the car and nitpick it anymore, because I feel like I would just be changing things that don't need to be changed. So we switched the fuel system completely over to the radium fuel system. So I was originally running just the fuel rail and some homemade lines, and now the setup is running the radium triple pump setup with AEM 340s. So essentially I have two AEM 340s running constantly whenever the car needs it. If it were to have a condition where it loses fuel pressure, it'll turn on that third pump. I haven't had that happen. The setup right now at the horsepower, we haven't needed to like we haven't ran out of fuel. Really, the limitation on turning it up more would be injectors or something like that. But once again, going back to changing things and like making more power, if we change turbo size, I'm not going to do it to make more power. I'm just going to do it to see if we can tweak the power band a little bit more. Maybe if we can get the turbo to come in like 200 RPM more, that would be kind of nice. But the way that is set up right now, it really doesn't take that long for even somebody else to probably hop in the car, do a shakedown with it. They'd probably be used to how the power feels and how the car reacts pretty intuitively and quickly in that regard. So there is not much to change. And in a weird way, I somehow finished a project. Now I get to just drive it. And that's honestly the dream. That's what we all dream about. That's why we build cars. And I know there's a few builders out there that like to just build cars and get rid of them and start the build over again. This is one of those cars where I've been dreaming about it for a long time, and I've meticulously put it together. And there's some things that are probably imperfections to some people. I would say it's character for the car. It's going to be driven really hard. I'm really excited to have it finished. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm extremely excited to get out there and probably do some track days and maybe some drift events with it and everything. I think it's a kind of like a Swiss Army knife of a car. So it would be interesting to try to see how it does road racing as well. But other than that, I'm going to be enjoying the car. I'm going to be driving the car on the street, and we'll see exactly how much trouble I get into a year from now. Maybe we'll do a recap. And if you'd like to see this content more on some of the other builds that we have going on here as they finish up, let us know in the comments. And let me know what you guys think of the R32.4, if you vibe with it. If you don't, it's all good. If you like this video, give it a like. If you don't, then we'll try harder next time. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.